They came, they practiced, they conquered. We are having 15 million plus of user base across the globe. We are having now 60,000 plus course registrations in just last 1 year, including 10,000 plus article submission and 30,000 plus problem solved. We are having around 50 plus course launched, and including that we are also having 97 million minutes of time spent on our portal. That's how much our youth love us. So this time we are making the resolution to fueling yours. So now it's time for you to choose either you want to become an expert in data structures or you want to excel in competitive programming. So now get set to explore in 2022 with us. So this year, learn, study, achieve and grow with Geeks for Geeks.
Hi, all. I welcome you all to another webinar, which is called Roadmap to Machine Learning, which is a part of our resolution days. And the guest for today is Priya Bhatia, who will be taking you all through a journey of machine learning, all the things about machine learning. And she'll be sharing with you a presentation, the link of which is in the description below. And also, there is a link which is pinned in the comment section. If you want anything to ask Priya, you can just go to the link and ask right away. So, meanwhile, I'd like you to ask your friends to join the webinar as this is going to be pretty exciting. And without much further ado, I'd like to invite Priya. Hi, Priya.
Hello,
Priya,
hello everyone. Yeah. Am I audible?
yes, Priya, you're audible. I think there is a lag in between, some connection issue, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so Priya, let's start this
Now you can
great
hear me?
session, which is yes, Priya, we can hear you. I'd like you to go forward and just introduce yourself to the audience.
So, hello everyone. I'm Priya Bhatia, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in AI domain from IIT Hyderabad. I'm in the last year, about to graduate in this year, and prior to that, I have a 1 year of work experience as a software engineer in Thales, Noida. I completed my bachelor's in computer science engineering from JP Institute of Information Technology, Noida, with the specialization of computer science engineering. So yeah, that's an overall brief overview about me.
Okay, so now, guys, Priya will be taking you all to this amazing journey. How to start? There will be some questions which will be addressed by Priya, like how to get started with machine learning, all the roadmap that you need to get started. So, Priya, like you can take the lead now, and I'll be removing myself.
Sure.
Okay.
So first of all, let me share my screen. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So first of all, let's try to understand that mainly what is machine learning and what is the major difference between AI, ML, and DL. So I have heard and listen a lot of students, and they used to get confused between these three domains. So whenever we are talking about AI, it's a proper subset of the domain which we used to study inside that, which is machine learning and deep learning. So whenever I'm saying AI, it's nothing but it's a study of training your machines to just mimic a human brain. Usually nowadays we used to see that there are robotic type of systems which used to do a job just like a waiter is doing in the restaurant. So what is this happening internally? Basically, we want three main skills whenever we are talking about AI, right? Learning, reasoning, and self correction. But when I'm talking about machine learning, it's something which is a subset of that particular AI, which allows the system to learn by themselves through the experiences without any kind of human intervention. For example, nowadays you can easily see that whenever you used to buy some product from Amazon, so it automatically gives us the recommendation, right? uh, to the kind of products that we usually buy. So it is something which is a subset of AI, where machines are automatically learning from the past experiences that, or the past data set that we are providing to them. And this is how mainly all the recommendation systems, OTT platforms, where in Netflix also we used to see that whatsoever we used to watch in a web series, that kind of recommendations we used to see. In YouTube also the same thing is happening. So how all these things are happening? Basically internally, the past experience data is used to grasp for each particular user, and accordingly there is some clustering kind of algorithms used to happen internally, and machine will learn the user's interest and accordingly give the recommendation to them. And after that we used to heard the term called deep learning. It is something where it is mimicking the human brain. So in our human brain also we are having a lot of neurons, right? So it is a similar like neural network which is mimicking the human like behavior, and which internally is a part of a machine learning. So whenever we are talking about machine learning, simply in simple words I can say that we are providing a historical data, and with the help of that historical data our model is learning some sort of patterns inside that data, and with the help of which it is able to predict some future results. That's what we are saying as a machine learning. Now usually various students used to ask that what is the usual roadmap whenever we used to talk about machine learning, right? So how basically we can start? So, whenever I'm talking about machine learning, the very first prerequisite in order to get a command or expertise in machine learning is mathematics. Whenever we used to study any kind of algorithm in machine learning, the main important point is the maths, like how internally things are working on. And inside maths also, if I will talk about the broader sense, it is nothing but linear algebra, where you will be having a matrix vector, which we used to study in our bachelor's also, in our engineering mathematics, like eigenvectors, determinants, how we basically used to calculate that. Apart from that, a statistics portion is required, like what is population, what is sample, how basically we used to determine the things from the sample and estimate the population according to that. What is the basic difference between these two? What do we mean by variance, standard deviation? So all these things are really important to understand in order to grasp a good knowledge of the machine learning algorithms. Apart from that, another important part is the probability. So what is conditional probability? What is Bayes theorem? How basically it came into picture? What they will infer from, what we used to infer from those kind of probabilities. So the very first part which I would like to convey to you all is that whenever you want to get a command for a machine learning type of things, the very first thing, or the only student who is good in mathematics, is clearly able to understand the internal portion as well, that how basically internally the algorithms are working on with respect to machine learning. So that's the very first thing which I want to emphasize on, that in maths, specifically linear algebra, the second part is statistics, and the probability plays a very important role if you want to become a machine learning engineer or in future data scientist. So this maths is really important in order to understand the concepts. After that, now when I'm saying maths, please don't take it like you have to do a master's degree in order to get an expertise in maths. No, it's not like that. There are so many good resources available on the web as well, on the YouTube as well, from where you can infer very much easily that how you can, what are the kind of concepts which is required. So for example, PCA algorithm is there, machine learning. So in that, the knowledge of eigenvectors, or the knowledge of eigenvalues are pretty important. So that knowledge you will be only able to get if you know the idea of this linear algebra. Similarly, statistics and probability are, similarly you will see the advantages when you will get to know, when you will do a full data science based project where you will do the EDA portion, where you will do the analysis of the data set. There you find the application of stats as well, in terms of visualizing the data, in terms of seeing that where the outliers are present. So these things are really important, and without that you won't be able to get a clear cut idea of the machine learning algorithms. The next important point is the programming language. Obviously, we can take a theoretical knowledge from any of the algorithm. You might be good in mathematics, and you will be easily able to get a mathematical knowledge as well, like internally how things are working on. But that's not the end, right? Enough knowledge is when you will be able to implement that part also, and that implementation is only done with the help of coding. Now, usually, whenever we are talking about a data scientist position or machine learning kind of task, usually we prefer Python or R programming language. And out of these two, also, I'll prefer to go for Python, because R programming is required when you want to specifically work for data analyst job, or you want to visualize the data as a statistician. R programming is very widely used. But here, our purpose is not that much. Our purpose is to, after doing the analysis, we want to apply the model, we want to do the model deployment, and that particular task are easily we can do with the help of Python programming language, because in Python programming languages, we have a lot of libraries which we can directly install and do our task within a very few lines of code. That's the important reason I would prefer that Python is the really good programming language which you can use in order to accomplish your task, in order to implement whatever you have learned so far in terms of algorithms in machine learning. So when I'm talking about Python, you should be aware of what are the kind of data structures in Python do we have. There are mainly four different kinds of data structures that we have, which is tuple, list, sets, and dictionaries. You should be aware of the fact that at what point of time, what kind of data structure is important. Apart from that, you should be aware of the very important libraries of Python, that is NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Basically, these three kind of libraries mainly fulfill our task. Matplotlib is mainly used for the visualization purpose. NumPy is mainly used for mathematical kind of analysis, and Pandas is mainly used to extract mainly the kind of data set that we have, and in order to do the immediate kind of task. So all these part of libraries are pretty much important, and whenever you want to do the manipulation of the data that you have, you require these three libraries. So understanding of these three libraries in much depth is very important whenever we are talking about machine learning specifically. So, one point that we have covered up until now is maths. In maths, broadly, linear algebra, stats, and probability. Another part which I have covered up is the programming language, in which I will specifically focus on Python, and it's quite easy as well. If you already know C, C++, Java, R, so it won't take even 15 to 20 days to grasp this programming language. That much easy this programming language is for you. If you are very new to the programming language, then it might take more than that days. But if you have already done any of the programming language, you will find it pretty easy, because the code that you already wrote in C or C++ in Java within 10 or 15 lines of code, this Python programming language, you will be able to see that that particular same task you will be able to done in 2 or 3 lines of code. That much easy it is because of the use of extensive libraries that they have. Now, let's come to the next important part. So, suppose now you understood the mathematics, you understood the programming language as well, you know all these three libraries pretty well. Then, what's next? Next part is that whenever we used to collect the data, or whenever we used to get the data from any of the source, that is a very raw data, means that's not a quality data that I can directly apply modeling on. So basically I have to clean that data in order to get the quality of that. And in order to get that quality, these are the kind of techniques that we used to apply. EDA, which is exploratory data analysis, that we used to do, so that we will be able to analyze the data, like how many kind of records that we have, what is the type of the data set, how many null values do we have. If suppose we have null values, how basically we can handle that portion. Can we impose mean or median or mode to that particular null values? It depends on various factors. Is the data contains outliers or not? If outliers is there, shall we remove those outliers, or shall we contain that particular outliers? Can we apply standardization and normalization technique on top of that, because data is not normalized or standardized? We have to look on those all particular aspects before doing the data modeling. Particularly, usually, whenever we used to get the data, I have seen a lot of students they directly use apply the data modeling because that's what they know. They used to import the scikit-learn library, and it's very easy to import the algorithm and train on that. It's very easy task. That's not that much difficult. As I told you, that Python is having a very good libraries, and we can directly do those particular kind of tasks. The major point is to understand before modeling that how much the better pre-processing task you do, the better cleansing or the better quality of data you will be able to give to the model, the better results it will generate. So sometimes what happen is that people usually not focus much on data pre-processing task, and they usually apply and give on training the model. They usually directly apply the model, and then their accuracy is quite very low, very bad. What's the reason for that? The major reason is data pre-processing. So always invest most of the time in data pre-processing task. Always extract the quality data from whatever data that you have, because the data that you have is not clean. It's your job to clean the data and to get a quality type of data so that you will be able to give it to the model. Similarly, when you are having a categorical values, how basically you can convert those particular values to a numeric values, because your model is able to understand the numeric data, not the categorical data. So there are so many techniques that we have, like one hot encoding, label encoding. So these kind of things you should always be aware of. Now, once you will be able to aware of all these concepts, which is a part of data pre-processing, like before processing my data, I am pre-processed it, I am cleaning it, I am finding the quality of that particular data set. Now it's a good time to apply the machine learning algorithm. Now, this is a basic thing, or I would say a very, very, very crucial part in the roadmap of machine learning, which you should be aware of. And in this, mainly questions will be asked, at least for the freshers as well as the intermediate level persons, like from 0 to 4 year of experience if you have. So it's pretty sure that the questions will be mainly asked from this algorithm. At least 1 or 2 questions you will face. So all the regression algorithms. First of all, you should be aware of the fact that how many types of machine learning algorithms do we have. So mainly we have 4 different types: supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement. You should be aware of the fact that what is the major difference between supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, and semi-supervised. At what point of time, what kind of algorithm should you apply? And inside that, a deep understanding of regression, like what is linear regression, when you used to apply linear regression, what is logistic regression, when you should apply for a logistic regression, what is the kind of cost function you are using, how basically internal maths is working on in order to calculate the, or in order to update the weights. So the gradient descent came into picture. So that kind of mathematics is required, and that you will be only able to get if you know the that linear algebra kind of thing, or the stats and probability kind of thing, as well as calculus is required whenever we are talking about a gradient descent. So these are the kind of things, if you are already aware of, when you reach to this particular point, you will not face any difficulty. If you're not aware of those facts, which we have already studied in our 10th 12th classes, it's just one time revision that we require before moving to this point. Now, after that, we are having unsupervised machine learning techniques in which there is a clustering algorithm. Inside that, after that, we are having a supervised machine learning algorithm, which is k nearest neighbor, then SVM, then decision tree, XGBoost, random forest, k-means, TD-scan, and many more. But these are the mainly kind of algorithms which are usually asked in interviews. Specifically, I would say random forest, decision tree, and k-means. These are the favorite algorithms, I would say, when I'm talking about the interviews. So these kind of algorithms are really important, and in order to understand these, you should be aware of the fact that what are the, like whenever we're studying decision tree, so keep in your head that how basically internally the maths is working, what is the pros and cons of this algorithm, and how basically we can avoid that particular con which that particular algorithm is having, and why we should go for another algorithm in that particular case scenario. Usually in an interview, what they used to do is that they will give you one scenario, okay, and they will ask from you that, okay, this is the kind of business problem that I have. Now you can tell me how basically you will start the problem solution, and how basically you will reach the end point. So you have to mainly talk about complete life cycle of a data science. So in that you will talk about the business understanding first of all. So this is the complete life cycle that you need to talk about. So business understanding, then data collection, like is the data set is given to you or you only have to collect the data. After that, data preparation task, that how basically you will prepare the data in order to feed into the model. After that, EDA, after like how many missing values you do have, how basically you will impose that missing values, and after that the modeling part will be done. Now this modeling part is also important, and that you can only able to judge after doing the EDA portion. Like what kind of data set you have, what kind of problem you are solving. Is that a classification problem or a regression problem? Is that can be solved with linear regression or logistic regression? So when we are having a classification kind of problem, obviously we will apply a logistic regression if it is a supervised machine learning technique. Again, how you get to know whether it is a supervised or unsupervised? If you are having a labeled data, obviously you will go for a supervised. Otherwise you will have to go for a unsupervised machine learning technique. So these kind of things you all should be aware of in order to make a judgment at this point of time, that what kind of machine learning algorithm you apply in order to train your data set. And after that you will do the model evaluation, where you will be finding out the model accuracy, how accurate your model is predicting the judgmenting the data. And after that, finally model deployment will be done, where you will deploy your model using a Flask framework or something like that, where mainly now obviously when you are solving any client's problem, they don't know internally how things are going on, they don't know what is random forest, they don't know what is decision tree. It's your job, you are a data scientist or you are a machine learning engineer, so you have to take care of those aspects, you have to take care of model evaluation. But what they want is a proper web framework which with which they can easily interact, which will be a user friendly. They may be importing the input features and will be able to get an output. But how automatically these things are going on inside the algorithm is your responsibility. You should be aware of the fact that how basically that model will work. So that's kind of thing that you will be aware of. So you have already seen that this modeling task come into picture after doing a lot of things. And I must tell you that maximum time, people usually feel that maximum time will be on the modeling part. No, it's not like that. If you want a good result in your of your model, do invest maximum time in the previous task, data preparation, EDA. Analyze your data pretty well so that you will be able to make a judgment that how and what kind of model you will apply in order to get a better accuracy or precision or recall. So these are the machine learning algorithms. Apart from that, there are direct machine learning libraries with the help of which you can directly import the model. So scikit-learn is one among them, with the help of which you can directly call the algorithm, whether it be linear regression, logistic regression, k-means, and many more. After that, matplotlib is for the visualization purpose. For example, you have the data set, you want to visualize it. Obviously client doesn't know, as I told you, so you have to show them in such a way that it will be clearly easily they can see it and they can make a judgment out of that. So with the help of which matplotlib library you can do so. Apart from that, there is a TensorFlow, PyTorch libraries are there for deep learning purpose. But here specifically we are talking about machine learning roadmap, so I am much more focused in my presentation for machine learning only. I'm not talking about deep learning in that much depth. Okay, so these are the points, or these are the basic things which I want to suggest to you all in order to get an expertise in a machine learning. So start with the basic maths, get a knowledge of mathematics. After that, programming language. I hope that many of you all are aware of at least the basic programming language. Then in-depth knowledge of these libraries which I have mentioned, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and scikit-learn. Then the data preprocessing things and the machine learning algorithms. This is the time which you will get, and you will have to invest much more as comparable to all other tasks, because these are the proper algorithms that we have. Whenever you are studying any kind of algorithm, please try to understand the maths behind that. Usually, because as I told you that there is one thing that you have to do is that you have to just import the library and call the function directly, and it's just a one line of code. It doesn't mean that you will skip the understanding portion, because if in future your need demands some changes in the algorithm, you want to customize your algorithm, you can do so, right? There are it's not mandatory that you can specifically call this kind of algorithm and the way it is working is the only way. You can customize any of the kind of algorithm according to your expectations, according to your problem statement, so that you will be able to only understand only when you will be able to get an idea of what kind of mathematics is there inside the algorithms. Now, final is the references. So, okay, you get to know all these things, you understood all these things, you spent much of the time in learning all these things. But the question is that how mainly we can get expertise on these kind of things. So the major thing is that in order to get expertise, is the only way is to do the projects. Until or unless you will not do the project and you will carry just the theoretical knowledge of the algorithms or anything, you might able to crack interview, might. But if you have a project in your hand that is solely done by you, then your confidence level is at the upper level, because then you know that what kind of challenges do we face whenever we are solving any kind of problem. And Kaggle is one of the very amazing website where you can go, you can sign up, and you can start doing various projects in Kaggle. Dataset is also available. What is the problem statement, try to learn from that, and then you will be able to get a clear cut idea from that. Apart from that, there are so many GitHub projects which you can explore. There are so many persons and students who used to upload all the projects whatever they have done inside the GitHub. Try to see that, try to see their approaches, like how they are working on. You may find something new which you haven't heard of. Then the research papers, Google Scholar is again a very popular website with which you can get a very few beautiful insights, like how basically things are working on, how optimization is going on. Apart from that, there is a very famous course by Andrew Ng. Stanford courses there in Coursera. You can go there, you can start learning from there. For Python, as I told you, Python programming language is must. This is again a very unique and beautiful course that you can get from this DataCamp's website. There are statistics notes as well. So these are the kind of things which you can refer in order to study on your own if you are learning, or if you want to do the self study. So these are the kind of references which you can take. Apart from that, for linear algebra, we are having a Gilbert Strang YouTube videos are also available. These are the kind of MIT lectures that we have. I think I have already attached the reference for that as well. Yes, it's there. So try to learn it from your own. You can do it, or apart from that, you can obviously take guidance. Maybe if you're in a college, from professors, or there are so many online courses available. So you can obviously take the insights from that as well. So yeah, these are the kind of things. If you are covering up, then you must be prepared or ready at least for machine learning part. Here I'm not talking about any other domain. There are so many domains inside AI. As I talk about, DL is another branch, deep learning. There another concept is there, but specific to the machine learning, yeah, these are the kind of things which I want everyone to focus on. So yeah, with this I would like to end this presentation. As you can see that this is all about what I have to say. Now you can ask any kind of questions whichever you want to ask. Let me read some questions and then we'll see. How much time will it take for freshers to learn machine learning sufficient enough to build mini project? It all depends on you, like how much time you can give on a daily basis. Uh, if you will be able to devote, I would say, 2 to 3 hours in a day in order to learn, I don't think that it will take more than 1 month at least to complete this portion which I am talking about. I am considering that you already have a prior knowledge of programming language, as I talked about, and the basic maths is also you know. After that, it's not that much quite challenging to understand the algorithms. You can you can give 2 to 3 hours each day to understand each and every algorithm, and then try to do the implementation of that. Suppose if you are learning any algorithm, for example, today you studied clustering algorithm, try to take some random data set, you can extract it from a Kaggle website, just take it and then try to do the implementation of the same. Until unless you are not doing the implementation and just studying the theory portion, it won't help. Believe me, it won't help anywhere. Try to do the implementation on your own, try to get some insights, try to see that how basically model is working on, and then try to optimize your results. For example, you do some task, you did some task and you are getting accuracy of approximate 70%. Okay, now let just sit over there and think that how basically you can increase that particular accuracy, what kind of things you do on top of that in order to improve that accuracy. And you will get to know that what kind of challenges also you will face while modeling, while doing the EDA, while doing the data analysis, while imputing the missing values, when to impute mean, when to impute mode, when to impute median. All these things are pretty important to understand, and that kind of things we will be able to get only when we are implementing the same. So within 1 month, if you are devoting on a daily basis time, you can easily able to do these things with implementation as well. And if for every particular algorithm while studying you are doing the implementation, then building a project is not a big deal, right? You know all the algorithms, then you can take up any of the project from a Kaggle and try to build on your own. And it might take some time in the very initial cases, but as the time passes by, you can easily maybe solve those particular projects within a few hours. So yeah, that's what I want to say. I am a 2021 fresher. Is it possible to get a job in data science or machine learning as a fresher? Is there a way to apply for them if possible? So if you are 2021 fresher and on campus, if your college is good, yes, there are pretty much high chances to get direct job as a data scientist. uh, but if you are not belonging to a tier 1 or tier 2 college, and the companies are not that much coming up, and if they're coming up, they're coming up for a software engineer kind of role, so I would suggest do grab that opportunity, but side by side try to take internship from that. Like side by side try to get the internship with respect to data science. So what will happen in your resume, interviewer or HR will see that at least you are having some kind of experience as an intern person, so they might hire you. For sure it would be difficult for a fresher to get a direct job if they are not belonging to a very good college. Software developers, software engineer kind of role is very easy, even for a tier 3 kind of college we can easily able to get. But if you want data science jobs, it is possible, but it would be quite difficult as far as I saw. So the best way which I can think of is to get an internship as a fresher is very easy in data scientist. So try to get an internship, try to take good work experience, try to learn from that particular internship, so that in future if an interviewer asks you that what you did in an internship, what kind of projects you did, you will be easily able to give them answer in a very impressive way, so that they will be able to see that okay, this particular guy is having a good work experience or industry project work experience, and obviously they will hire you. So that's the good path which I can think of as of now. Because I have had a talk with so many students, and uh, many of them who doesn't belong to a good college feels very disappointed that they didn't get any company on campus as a data scientist position. So that's the only way I suggest to them, that try for an internship, and they easily able to get an internship also for 6 months, for 3 months, and after getting in your resume that you have already have industry work experience as an intern, you can easily able to grab a job as a full time also. Apart from that, if your target is to go into that data science job only, the one of the most important thing apart from the internship is your projects. So try to focus on your projects also. See, whenever you are applying for a job, it's the resume which is playing a very important role. If your resume is not shortlisted, then obviously you are not calling for an interview. Then how basically you will be able to show them the knowledge that you have, right? So very first task is that our resume should get shortlisted in the very first place. So in order to shortlist that particular resume, you should have a good internship, you should have a good project in your portfolio, you should have a good CGPA as well. I'm not talking about having a very great CGPA of 9.5 or something like that, but have a decent CGPA like 7 plus, and apart from that, have a good project as well as have a good internship experience. For sure, your resume will get shortlisted if you make that portfolio in a very nicer way. uh, there are very good platforms in order to make that resume as well. So resume making is also playing a very crucial role whenever you are applying for any kind of job. So do spend a lot of time on that, because I have seen so many students who used to have a good knowledge, but one thing is the resume is not nice because they didn't spend so much of time while making the resume. Another thing is their communication skills. Like they know the things but they can't express it completely. They know the algorithm but they can't explain it to the interviewer, maybe due to the nervousness, or maybe they don't have the habit of explaining the things. So the simple way is that do spend some time on your resume, try to build some good projects, have good internship in your resume. Apart from that, try to call a friend or your batchmate and have a good discussion with them. Now we are in a virtual mode, you can have a Google Meet and you can easily explain each other that, okay, today I have learned about linear regression, let's have a discussion on this. So I will explain the project, I will explain that particular algorithm, and you can let me know that whether you are able to get that point or not. So in this way you will be able to break that particular thing that you are not able to explain the things to an interview. Consider him or her as an interviewer and try to explain to him or her that, okay, this is how it is working, this is how internally things are happening, this is how maths plays a very important role. And then other person will try to communicate to you that, okay, this point I'm getting or this point I'm not getting. In this way, if you're doing it frequently, you will be able to get an idea that how basically these kind of algorithms you can be able to explain. Apart from that, again, the projects, how you are explaining those projects, again the internships, how you are explaining that what kind of work you did in your internship. So these things play a very important role whenever you are applying for a data science based jobs. Where to apply for data science job as a fresher? So you are having various platforms nowadays, like naukri.com, LinkedIn, again a very good platform where you can build your profile in such a way that automatically I have saw that many recruiters came to you. You don't need to go. If you are maintaining your profile on LinkedIn in such a way that you have already demonstrated that this kind of work I did, this kind of work I am doing currently, and this kind of internships I did, there are so many openings on LinkedIn as well. Just go explore there, try to apply, try to make your resume in a beautiful way, and there might be a chance that HR is coming to you and saying to you that, are you interested in this kind of job, by seeing your LinkedIn profile. So LinkedIn is nowadays a very good platform, and if someone is not having a profile on LinkedIn, please today itself try to make it and keep your LinkedIn profile updated, like what kind of projects you did in your semesters, what kind of things you did, so that interviewer get to know that, okay, this kind of projects I have in my company, and this person already have that much skills, so can I communicate with them or with him or her, right? So this is one of the thing which I want to talk about. Hi Priya, I'm from mechanical engineer with more than 6 years of experience. I want to do the transition to data science, can you please guide me on how to proceed? So you know I am doing a master's in AI, and as far as I remember, in my batch, there are many students, even more students having a background of mechanical engineer rather than computer science. So one way is that either you can go for masters and you can do a specialization in this domain, then things will become very easy for you. But by saying masters, I mean to say that do a masters from a good college, so that your profile will get improved. Or you can do a masters outside India as well. Apart from that, if you really want to do a transition and don't want to do masters, that also is possible. If you are really good with concepts, as I told you, that the projects, and apart from that, industry experience, that is internship, or if you're not able to get a direct job, go for internship. Don't think that, okay, I am having this much experience, now how can I do internship? Do it side by side. No. So it's like, the more you have the experience in that domain, the more you have the knowledge. Once your resume gets shortlisted, after that, it's your knowledge only that interviewer will see. He or she will not see that what you did in the past. He just see that whether you know the algorithm that he or she is asking or interviewer is asking. So try to think like that, that if suppose someone is giving a resume, and he or she wants to a data scientist, so what kind of skills they want? They want that you are good in maths, they want you are good in domain knowledge. Now if you have 6 years of experience, you must have some domain knowledge. Try to use that. Now everywhere is AI. It's not like whether it be healthcare, whether it be finance, you can use that particular knowledge or that particular years of experience, and you can make your thinking in such a way that how basically whatsoever I have learned so far in 6 years, how can I automate those things and do a project on the basis of that, so that a domain knowledge I have, I can easily able to grasp maths and stats portion. And apart from that, what other thing is required is this only, the algorithms that we have. So try to learn these algorithms, try to do the implementation on the same. And once your resume is getting shortlisted and you have the knowledge, no one, I don't think that you will be able to face any kind of difficulty. It's just the very first difficulty which people usually face is the shortlisting of resume. And in order to shortlist the resume, you have to work very hard in terms of projects, in terms of internship, and another way, as I talked about, is doing the masters. So these are the two things with which you can easily do the transition. Have a good knowledge, and then you have the confidence as well, and then you can easily able to crack the interviews as well. In interviews, as I told you, they ask you scenario based questions, that okay, this is the business problem that I have, how basically you will approach. What they want to see is your logic, like the way how you are approaching to a solution. How is your logic building thing? What kind of understanding you have when we are talking about algorithms? That's what they're looking for. And if you can show them this kind of knowledge that you have, industry experience you already have, so I don't think that you will get that much difficulty in order to grab a job. Next interesting question is that SQL. How does that help to be a data scientist? So, yes, this is another important question, that apart from maths, apart from machine learning algorithms that we have talked about, uh, apart from programming language, obviously we are dealing with a huge data set. And that huge data set we need to store in some database. Whenever you are doing some analysis, maybe you want to hit some command, you want to see some sort of things. So how basically you can extract and you can type some sort of queries like joins, select command, from, group by, having. So in order, this is a kind of analysis only which you want to do. For sure, you're not here dealing with a very small kind of data set. You are dealing with a huge data set, and that huge data set, you want to process it. You want, and that huge data set is stored in some kind of database, maybe MySQL, maybe Oracle. So how basically you can extract that records from that database? At that point of time, you require the structured query language. So you should have a good idea of databases as well. SQL is the very important thing which is usually asked in interviews. Apart from these things which we have covered up in this session, again a very important thing in SQL also, how basically joins are working on, and apart from that, little bit knowledge if you can get on big data tech stack, like how basically we can process a huge data set using maybe MapReduce, Hadoop, Hive. All these tech stacks are really important. But yeah, that's a part of data engineering. But first of all, let's focus on this thing, that machine learning thing, and then step by step go towards, there are so many things, there are so many domains. One thing which I want to talk about is that there is this particular thing which we are doing as of now, is which is AI. It's never ending. It's not like that, okay, now I have full knowledge, I am expert in this. No, it's not like that. If you will go and find the research paper, on a daily basis there are new researches going on. That vast this field is. So you have to be updated in each and everything. So it's like the more you want to go deep dive into, you can get the more results, you can get the more inferences. So it's like that only. So be specific. First of all, if your target is to get a job, so be specific to learn the things with respect to job, like what kind of questions job your interviewer is expecting from you, like the kind of algorithms, like the kind of maths, like the kind of statistic questions they want. After that, once you will be able to achieve a target, do don't stop there. Try to do research after that as well. As I'm saying that it's never ending process. In this domain you have to learn, uh, I would say on a daily basis. You have to spend your self time on a daily basis of maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, or whatever time you can get, because things are updating so frequently that you can't even imagine. Yes, you can definitely. I am working in an IT company. Do I get an internship in ML from other company? For sure, you can get. As of now, there are so many opportunities, and everything is work from home. So it's like it all depends on you, that what you can see on the web. I would say, yeah, it's very easy to get an internship. At least now in virtual mode it's more easy. Usually previously what happened, we used to go physically for the interviews and everything. A lot of commuting time is also wasted, but now I think we have more time because everything is virtual. Interviews are going to happen virtually. So do apply for an internship. If you are a fresher, then definitely go for it, and don't think for a second time also. If you're not getting a full-time job, it's completely fine. You have a time, do an internship, gain some good experience, do some good projects, and after that, if you have a good projects in your hand, then it's very easy for you to grab a job in data scientist. Yeah, I think we are good to go. Any other thing which you guys want to ask? Sheil, you are mute.
Okay. So thank you, Priya, so much for this session. I think you are done. And should I remove your screen now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Priya, once again for giving us your valuable insights. And I hope our audience will uh, apply those in the future. And I wish you all the best, Priya.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sheil. Yeah.
Uh, thank you. And also, guys, we have this session, this resolution days, and we have a back-to-back webinars tomorrow. So do check those out, and those are on different variety of different topics, and you can explore those as well. So I'll be ending the session now, and goodbye, Priya. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye bye.